because it's been a while since I've done this. But I'm very, very excited. So I'll be doing intros in a second. So let me first of all check all my media and make sure that this live is actually going live, because it'd be really weird if it doesn't. So that's what we're going to do first of all. Make sure that we've gone live. And yes, we have. So after a little bit of delay, we are definitely live. So that's a good thing. So we're definitely live on LinkedIn. So if you are joining us on LinkedIn, hello, how are you? And good to have you here. I am with the amazing Biljana Georgieva. So let me just check the Facebook Live, and then we are good to go. And if you are joining us, then make sure that you give us a little hello for a number of reasons. One is let us know that you can actually hear us, because that's basically going to help, isn't it? And also let us know that that you can see us, all of those things, because it's like I said, it's the first time that I am using this. Right. I have not done one of these for a while. But I was talking to a very good friend of mine, and I realized what a fabulous idea it would be to bring her on as a guest, especially as she definitely comes along. She does so many interviews. She's always around. Thank you. So Ray has joined us. He's saying, yes, I can see and hear. We've also got Richard Friedman, who said it's all working. Julia's joined us. Hello. Some of these people you probably know, I reckon. So let me just do it. Right, okay. So we decided that, well, oh my gosh, she's always out there. Why don't I bring her on? And not only let her tell us a little bit about herself and what she does, but also how she has mastered this platform to build her authority online, and not just build her authority, but actually change it. So let me read her little bio, because she's never sent me a bio. I've known this woman for years, and now I'm going to read her bio. But just reading her bio made me realize just how fabulous she is. So joining me today for the next sort of 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how much talking we do, I'd love you all to actually meet the infamous Biljana Georgieva. Now, Biljana is a Tedx coach, digital and social media nerd, these are her words, and multi-award winning speaker. In the past 10 months alone, she has driven more than 3 million people towards the TEDx talks of her mentees. So she's actually helped her mentees overall, of various mentees, in total attract more than 3 million people to their TEDx talk. All her clients are in the top 25% of the most watched TEDx speakers around the world. 8 of them are in the top 10 world TEDx chart, and 2 of them are in the top 50 most popular TEDx talks released in 2021 on YouTube. So this is just a short part of Biljana, because actually the two of us, we both did our TEDx talk at the same time. So please join me in welcoming the amazing Biljana. How you doing, Biljana?
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are around. It's beautiful words. Morning to Richard, Ray, Julia, Michael from Zanzibar. That's amazing. Morning, all of you, or afternoon or evening. I do apologize. I'm going to cough time to time, as I've been quite sick for 5 days now. So do apologize.
I know. I said
to amazing Janita, right? So it's just.
I said to Biljana, I was like, have you actually just woken up? And she's like, no. Bless you. I know Julia says it's an incredible bio. It definitely is. So there's a number of reasons why, a couple of reasons why I've actually brought you on, because one is just to talk to you a little bit about, what you do for people who either want to be TEDx speakers, and, what your skill set is, and how you actually got to understanding, what the kind of tricks and trends are to get your TEDx talk attracting more and more people. But also, you specifically, and I remember me and you sat in a mastermind meeting many years ago, probably about 5 years ago, where you were transitioning really. You transitioned from being a digital nerd in the form of processes and digital transformation to what you are doing today. But let's just kick off a little bit about you yourself. Tell us a little bit about kind of how you got to where you are today in terms of the TEDx. What was it about the TEDx that really kind of piqued your interest and made you want to focus on that?
Wow. Gosh, where to start from? Okay, so I was one of the first people who got sick with COVID back in March. I think it was like 5th of March 2020. And within a week, I lost all my projects. So that's like 19 years of digital transformations doing for corporate companies. And just like in a snap, all that was gone. So I was in bed for 2 months. My lungs were really badly affected. And I didn't know how long it's going to take me to recover. So I
remember that time as well. I remember.
Yeah, it was really tough. And if you live in London or somewhere in UK or anywhere around the world, actually, you know that when you don't have incomes, you have to kind of take drastic measurements as well. So I put everything what I own in a storage room, went back to my parents. It took me about 8 months to recover. But then I was like, okay, so I can take it in a bad way or in a good way, right? I'm not going to lose my 19 years experience as digital transformations, but if this is a blank canvas, what do I want to do? And I sat down and I wrote all the skills what I've got, but I want to also use in the future. And it didn't come like TEDx coaching didn't come straight away. I mean, that is kind of a process, right? So it was a call I received from a lady saying, oh, you helped 2 of my friends and I want you to help me with my TEDx. And I was like, well, I help them because that's not what I do. And the moment when I said, I was like, actually, I'm doing it already. So it's just always epiphany moments when you say something and you realize, wait a minute, I've been doing it for a while, but I didn't declare it officially.
Yeah.
The moment when I actually sat with myself and I was like, well, TEDx coaching tick all the boxes of what I want to use as skills. I'm a professional speaker. I already know social media. I was with 10,000 followers already, or maybe a bit more across the different platforms. I knew how YouTube works and all the digital stuff around there, and I love TEDx, and I was like, oh my god, what that's gonna how that would be if I make it a lot more, even more synthesized, because when I was coaching my friends, I literally went through what I went through with my TEDx journey, and I put all the steps and everything. And I called Dee and I said, can you please help me to position myself on social media, specifically on LinkedIn, because this is the platform where my audience sits. So people can stop knowing me as a business transformation director and start knowing me as a TEDx coach. And I can tell you, it has been, honestly, Dee, thank you so much, huge thank you, because that whole idea in my mind, let's start and see where it goes as a TEDx coaching. I started January 2021. And all these results, what you heard, they are amazing results. I'm so proud of them. They happen within, what is it, a year and a half now?
Yeah.
So something I want to mention, which always amazed me, is that I was literally, so he is Dinita Patni, right? So we were chatting on that chat. I was like, you need to tell me what to do so I can rebrand myself. People need to know me now as a TEDx coach. And then what I want, once people know me as a TEDx coach, I want to be the #1 TEDx coach from LinkedIn, obviously, I like to be number one, number two, somewhere in the top 5. And he is doing it saying, okay, so this is what you need to do. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Literally, for all of you watching this, it was a phone call, and I was like writing and writing and writing, and then at the end, and overall, that's the need. And overall, what you need to be super consistent. I was like, okay, consistent. Okay, that's not my favorite. Like, not my favorite.
That's one of the hardest things, isn't it? When
it is.
Especially in today's world where there is just so much coming at you, you know, what platform am I on? Especially if you're on several platforms, you know, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, whatever it is, when you're on several platforms, it's that consistency that tends to drop. But you know, I mean, just turning the tables again, you know, whatever I might teach will only be as good as a person who's taking it on. And you're somebody who has been and continues to be consistent. And I think the fact that it wasn't one of your favorite words, what is it about consistency that you believe not only helps, you know, not only has helped you, you know, change, because when you're a digital in digital transformation, business transformation, like you said, you had 10,000 followers. So what happened when you started to do this transition to being seen as a Tedx coach?
The consistency was the biggest key for me to position myself as a Tedx coach. So one thing what you gave me that time was that I need to give a lot of value because that's the only way for people to see, not see me only as a digital transformation director, but now as a Tedx coach. So giving a lot of value, and that formula 4:1, what you gave me. So all this value, what you basically were saying, I completely took, like, when we finished the whole design of the whole strategy, my whole literally till today, a year and a half later, or actually almost 2 years later, like, giving value is the one strategy I still use for my social media. Like, I rarely sell anything on social media. I rarely, like, every time when obviously I do group coaching calls, or like, I don't know, I was doing 3 days and 5 days challenges, Tedx challenges. I was doing so many things, and I would mention that on LinkedIn. But like, if you open my LinkedIn wall, you're gonna see, like, constantly, like, just giving value, and then time to time on Sunday, usually I just talk about myself and my personal life and something personal. But like, I would say 6 days out of 7 per week, I post. And honestly, that consistency still drives me nuts. Like, I'll give, like, that's the life, as you said, Dee. Like, yesterday, I have been feeling so sick for, like, I don't know, since last Friday. So that's almost a week now. And and Wednesday is usually the time when I publish my articles, and I didn't have any time to write the article. And yesterday I had to literally get myself, like, really push myself out of bed, write down, like, use something what I already wrote, and just slightly add a few more things so I can create my article and publish it. And usually articles, I publish them in the morning. That one I published it, I don't know, like, it was a late afternoon, but I still did it. Right. So, like, if you can remember one thing from today's conversation, that will be, like, be consistent with LinkedIn and all the social media what you do, because life gets away, and just, it's like, and sometimes, like, mentally I just don't want to post. Like, literally. And I'll tell you how I do that, because I went, like, meanwhile, for this, like, the past 2 years, I went through depression. I went through, like, so many mental health, you know, journey, I would say. The way how I kept being relatively consistent, the time when I just didn't want to post, didn't want to show up myself, was that the days when I was feeling absolutely amazing and great, and I was in a such flow and mood to write content, I would just write as many hours as I can. And I use Evernote. And if you open my Evernote, it's like a library. I can tell you, like, every single post, story, article, live, podcast, anything I do, it's in my Evernote, so I can pull out any of those. And it's messy notes, honestly. Like, this is life, this is reality. My notes are messy, and I use sometimes, like most of the time I use Evernote. Sometimes I don't know, on the train, on the bus somewhere, and I'm like, idea comes to my mind and I go to notes, as I've got iPhone and MacBook and they synchronize themselves. But my notes is like, you can see, like, from recipes for cooking all the way to, this is the idea what I want to post one day eventually on any social media. So keep all your notes.
And I think that's a really good habit, isn't it? Because sometimes ideas come to us when we're, not necessarily at our desk, or at the time that we need to write something. Ideas might come from things that we've experienced or seen, or when we're out shopping or whatever it might be. So just to get your phone out, add the idea in, so it's there for you to then draw upon later on. So that's a really good habit to have, especially because one of the things that you mentioned about giving value, one of the key things on LinkedIn about giving value is thinking about everyday experiences and stories sell, content tells, as we know from Russell Brunson. So one of the things that is really often quite good is thinking about a specific moment and going, oh, how can I relate that back? So having it noted down, because then you can draw upon life's experiences. So for example, I would have, I play badminton every weekend, and it's just being able to go, oh, I can use that badminton story when I was being coached by an expert, who I call an expert, who made my game better. And it meant that, I didn't have to, try and figure it out myself. So I use that story as a way of letting people know that I play badminton, because that's a sport that many people like. So it shows my personal brand and my personality, but also at the same time giving a message. And I think that's where just noting down an experience or things that happen in the moment is really good. Let me just kind of take you back a little bit, though, because I want to focus on the fact that you had to transition from one to another. So what was the hardest part and what was the easiest part? Let's ask both questions in that transitional journey, because everything that we do and everything I teach, but everything you're doing is all organic. Very little is paid. So what was the hardest part of the transition that, if you didn't stay consistent, would have made you give up?
The hardest part was to drop who am I. Like, there's so many amazing Tedx coaches around the world, and I had to really pull myself out of this mental game of, like, what gives me the right to say that I'm a really good Tedx coach. Before I get the results, before I have all these amazing mentees I have, that there were like thousands of millions of views, and basically show to the world, like, that's what I'm doing right now. So that like, who am I mental game was really hard. The easiest one was to go update all my profiles and say, now I'm a Tedx coach. That's very easy. But that consistency of posting every day, at some point, and the waiting game is also very difficult. Like, because you're the new kid in the block, basically. Like, people, like, from 10,000 followers, I lost about 2,000 followers pretty much within a month. The first month, because people were so used to watch and listen and read about digital transformations, and boom, I start talking about TEDx. And I love that, because I really loved and blessed all these 2,000 people, because that meant that these 2,000 people read my content and they were not
and then decided that actually it wasn't for them. Exactly.
and I was really happy. But then, like, how to keep that attention and attract the attention. This is where, for all of you watching this, I at some point I thought that I'm driving UD crazy, because I would like whatever time is the day or the night or the morning, I was like, I want to test this. Like, tell me what to do. Like, give me a strategy for this. Give me a strategy for, what was it, last year? This, like, not this time. I started in August. In August, I called you and I was like, I want to do 3-day TEDx challenge. Give me the whole strategy. Like, I'm one of those impatient people who I don't have patience to figure out myself and discover the hot water. I just called you and I'm like, can you tell me this and this? And then I follow steps. So yeah, that's the hardest and the easiest one.
Easiest. Right, let's just do a quick refresh. So if you are just joining us, welcome. Whether you're joining us from Facebook or whether you're joining us from LinkedIn, I hope this conversation is one that you will tune into. If you're watching this on replay, then obviously hashtag replay. But with me, I've got the amazing Biljana Georgieva. She's a long-standing friend of mine. Actually, the two of us met when we were both in a professional speaking academy. That's how I met Biljana. And then since then, there's lots of journeys that we've shared together. And she is telling us about her journey on how she transitioned from her old expert area authority that she was known for, as in digital transformation, to then being known for being an outstanding and award-winning coach, specifically helping TEDx coaches get a TEDx gig, as well as helping them understand how they can attract more viewers to their TEDx video. Because obviously there's quite a few things you need to put into place. So that's what she's doing, and amazing results that she's got for her client. A total of over 3 million additional views that they would not have got had they not had her help. So if you've got any questions for Biljana, then put them in the chat box. We've already got a few people commenting. Julia says, bless you, I totally hear you. I lost all of my work too over COVID and had to reassess. Yeah, and that's something that many people would have needed to do. And then she says, I think this is around the fact that you were literally doing everything, like, Evernote and things like that. She's like, sounds like me. LOL, been there, felt that. So yeah, some good chat so far from her. And then I think from your side, you've got Richard Friedman as well, who is obviously somebody that you know too. So welcome to the chat, Richard. So if you've got any questions, put them in the chat box for Biljana. So Biljana, one of the things, there's two questions I want to get across. So the first question I want to ask you is, why LinkedIn for your TEDx visibility? And I ask you that because a lot of the time you see many TEDx public speaking type coaches use platforms like Facebook to put themselves out there. So what made you choose LinkedIn? Why did you think that was going to be the right platform for you?
Simply because when I started the business, I sat down and I asked myself, like, who is the audience? Who is my audience for like, which type of people and personalities I want to have as mentees for TEDx coaching? And obviously LinkedIn straight away was like the platform where all of them mingle. Now, something interesting, when I sat the very beginning and I thought, like, okay, so business professionals, because I worked 19 years before that with business professionals, this is the best people I want to work with and keep working. And about a year later, something very interesting happened. So I sat one day and I've got in Excel, the old good Excel spreadsheets, and I did an analysis on my all the clients I had so far. And I realized that actually I don't have just business professionals. I have business professors, I have medical doctors, I have medical professors. Like, those people came from LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
And that was very interesting because in my mind was like, okay, the business professionals, because I work with C-levels, with like high-level managers, etc., and I do have them as clients as well. But in addition to what I expected was those type of people also, which I didn't expect, and they were also on LinkedIn. So that only shows the power of LinkedIn, because it's not a business platform for a long time ago. If you have that in your mind, wipe it off from your mind, because pretty much everyone who is authority in their field, who wants to also spread that professionalism across different platforms, for sure they have LinkedIn. Instagram just didn't felt any more appealing. Facebook, I was like, I don't want to support Facebook for many reasons. And luckily, LinkedIn just had like all the all these kind of people.
Yeah. In fact, I know about, it's quite interesting, isn't it? Because obviously, I have a membership group which you are part of, and because LinkedIn groups we're still waiting for them to improve the functionality of LinkedIn groups. We had to put all of the members who are part of the membership LinkedIn membership site into a Facebook group, and that's the one thing you hate.
I hate that. I passionately hate that. But and I keep Facebook only because of that group and more groups.
Yeah,
I'm totally honest. Like if those 3 groups were not on Facebook, I would just totally leave.
Yeah. So let's just talk a little bit about your TEDx side of things. So, you know, first of all, in your opinion, what is it that, you know, what's your advice to people who want to do a TEDx talk but are holding back for the, you know, the right time or the right moment? Like, what's your advice for them?
Don't wait. If you have the idea, don't wait until you finish that book and publish it, until you develop those video courses and you did publish them, until you just develop that business and you do it. Just whatever your heart is telling you that you should talk about X on TEDx stage, go and do it. The reason why is because first of all, it's experience. Obviously, it's going to give you a lot of experience, and after this is going to serve you in a beautiful, beautiful way. Secondly, because for sure at some point someone around the world is going to do exactly that topic, exactly the pretty much not the exact same way as you and same stories, etc. Obviously, that's very unique, but they're going to have the same wisdom as you want to spread around the world, and you always want to be the first, most probably, I believe. So just don't wait, just go for it and do it.
And why do you think people do that? Why do you think they go, other than obviously wanting to try and be perfect, but what are some of the other reasons, especially when it comes to a TEDx talk, that they go, oh, not yet, I've got to get ready.
Gosh, there's so many stoppers. I think the biggest one is to let go of all the monkey mind behind and just do something. But that goes for everything what we do, right? Like step on LinkedIn and start talking about something what you don't want usually, or you're like, should I talk or not? Any of it. So hello to Gail. Happy Thanksgiving in Canada.
So it's really interesting, actually, because Julia's just said, wow, I always thought you had to be a big shot to talk for TED or TEDx. I've always wanted to do it, but wasn't sure I was good enough.
Yeah. Who am I? You've got the same as me. Who am I to talk about that? Like, who am I to announce I'm a TEDx coach 2 years ago? But yeah.
And the truth is, you don't. Yeah, I mean, what do, I guess the definition of big shot, Julia. So you just got to think, well, actually, do I have an idea? Because that's what TEDx is all about, isn't it? It's all about ideas. Do you have an idea on a particular concept that you can share when it comes to a message, etc.? And I think that's the key thing, isn't it?
about 3 months ago, I sat down to record fully free short video on how to apply for TED and TEDx. And I was like, all I want to put there is the 11 stoppers, the 11 beliefs, common beliefs, what people do that stops them from doing TEDx. What you said, Julia, is one of them. Like, I need to be someone big, like big shark, big shot, someone big name to go on TED and TEDx. That's one of the beliefs. What is just like, it's a BS. Sorry, it's no, there's no such rule. So I basically, because before that I was writing them in different posts, and I got to 11 of them. Can you believe? Like 11 wrong beliefs and like common beliefs. One, like again, like books. Like I need to finish my book is one of them. I need to be a big name, big one. So yeah, it's like 11 of them. It's just ridiculous.
Like they say in the Chinese proverb, right? The best time to plant a tree was yesterday. What's the next best time to plant a tree? And that's today. So yeah. And Gail, who you said, did you say she was from Canada?
Yes.
Yeah. So Gail says, yes, LinkedIn has changed so much. It is now a must-have. Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. For anyone looking to connect with people, organizations, and businesses. And I think that's a key thing there. Like it's people, organizations, and businesses, but ultimately it is a human-to-human platform, isn't it? Who like tell me about some of the results that you've got as a result of being, because you're consistent, it means your visibility has been raised. So you are now, out there. Everybody knows Biliana, is a TEDx coach. Tell me some of the real good results and, approaches that you've had on LinkedIn as a result, even if you didn't know them at the time.
Oh my God, they're quite a lot. I'll tell you the last one because I was like, what?
Yeah.
I came back from a short holiday that was like, I think it was like end of August, beginning of September, mid-September, somewhere there. And I was going through my messages on LinkedIn, guilty as charged. Like I'm so late of answering messages, I have to say, right? And I was going through messages and it was like, keep answering. And then at some point, I had a message from Barry Shaw saying, I love what you do, absolute fan of you. Would you like to be a guest on my podcast? And I was like, you kidding me? Like I had to read that message several times. Now, Barry Shaw is a man who he has amazing journals. Sadly, it's like he was. First of all, he's a multi-million dollars businessman. Age of 28, I think he was in the top 5 wholesale diamond dealers in the world. Then
Wow.
the company approached him and his partner to actually train all the wholesale dealers across US, and they did the training program, and after this they sold the training company for $100 million. That was
wow.
8. Then he had like another multi-million dollar company. He sold it for, I don't remember, like $10 million or $15 million, which was internet 1.0 time. I mean, he's the man for business, basically. And I think about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, he woke up one morning completely paralyzed from neck down, and it took him about 3 years to actually start moving his finger. It was really massive physical journey and mental journey and emotional journey for him. And as out of all that, he created an amazing podcast, The Joy of Living. He wrote the book, The Joy of Living. And he's just, down to earth person. And he sent me that message like, "Would you like to be a guest on my podcast?" I was like, I went and I checked his LinkedIn profile several times to see that this is not a fake profile. So I answered, and I was like, it's going to be interesting how that's going to go. So we jump on the podcast. I think it was like about 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, we recorded the podcast. And we didn't have a chance to talk together before the podcast. So we stayed in the green room after the podcast. We had a long chat. It was like really good laugh, basically. And he pushed my podcast to be published a week right after that. It's so if you go on my LinkedIn wall, I did pin it somewhere in the featured. But that podcast absolutely made my day, and obviously his day. But
and like you said, like this guy is like, he is associated with the likes of Oprah Winfrey and
yes, Matthew McConaughey, John Travolta, Jack Canfield,
Canfield, yeah.
Oprah Winfrey, all of these people, and quite a lot other famous, mainly American people, they support what he does. Oprah Winfrey last Thanksgiving gave all the money she collected through the magazine to his charity.
Yeah.
So that is how big and huge he is.
Yeah. And that's a power of LinkedIn, isn't it? Like, this came from your content being out there to him messaging, well, actually commenting on your post, to then leading to a podcast interview. So if you're listening to this, like, sometimes it's not just about the end user or the end lead that you get for business. It's not always about the transaction, but it is about the reach and the global level of people that you meet globally, that can put you on a global stage and put you in front of more of the right people, in terms of influences, etc., isn't it?
Yeah. I have, like, currently 95% of my clients come from LinkedIn.
Yeah.
The other 5% come from my clients as
referrals.
So it is referrals, and at the end is LinkedIn again.
Yeah. Exactly.
Julia followed his podcast. Yes, you're gonna love his podcast. It's amazing.
Yeah, Julia's like, what an amazing man. I'm looking him up.
Yeah.
She's definitely an action taker, Julia, here. So like, what, for people who, because obviously you've helped one of my clients get on a TEDx stage, so the lovely Maria, tell me, what the difference was for, and I'm sure we'll bring on Maria one time as well, and we'll ask her direct, but what difference did you see in her from somebody who had no public speaking experience? She works, she works in an organization where she helps salespeople, but she's on her side hustle, she's a career confidence coach. I'd love, like, what difference did you see between, and this, Julia, actually is a really good message for you, because this lady had no experience. She'd only recently qualified as a coach. She's building her business, but it was all about visibility. So what difference did you see in her?
It was a huge difference. So exactly as you said, like, you start helping her with LinkedIn to be more visible on LinkedIn, and she started getting more and more followers there. But it wasn't like thousands.
Just to stop on that, actually, I mean, when she started working with me, she was on 69 connections, stroke followers, and then she has almost 5,000 now, and that's in a year and a half.
Exactly. Sorry, my battery is about to die. So we're talking about a person who indeed did not have public speaking experience. She did a TEDx talk, and she didn't have like thousands of followers. So we had to think about a very specific strategy for her, so we can position her as a TEDx speaker and get her TED talk like thousands of views. She's in the top 25 most watched TEDx speakers now.
Wow, that's amazing, by the way.
Yeah, it is. After a bit of a journey, I have to say as well, but it's a long story. But
yeah,
as a result, what I see right now with happening with her is that people invite her to speak on stage. She got nominated as a TEDx speaker. She was recently nominated. and to be honest, like if you take just this nomination, she was picked from I don't know how many TEDx speakers in UK to be nominated as a TEDx Speaker of the Year.
Wow.
So there are only 3 people nominated. So you can imagine how many TEDx speakers, like roughly, if I need to calculate, about, I don't know, about 350-ish events in the UK times 10 speakers. This is 3,500 speakers.
And these are the these are
in the UK.
The speaker awards, which I'm actually a judge on. So
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, she didn't come into my category, but interestingly enough, Biljana, like not only was she in there, but I believe, have you helped the other 2 or one of the other 2?
Yeah, that was a surprise for me as well. So I Decent, who was nominated, and I looked, I was like, oh my god, I have 2 out of 3 speakers which are my mentees. I was like, that is super happy. It totally made my day.
Yeah, exactly.
So with Maria, she gets now invited on different stages, and that's exactly what she wanted. Gets those nominations. She works her ass off, I have to say, but she's a lot more motivated now to do a lot more outside her sales directorship roles, and that motivation is a big driver, I have to say. So it's huge. And the other thing
it's great also to, like, we both, and this is I think what I love sharing about, you know, like working with you as well, in terms of how we're both able to be part of Maria's journey, in terms of, you know, you getting her on that TEDx stage and giving her the confidence, whilst I've been able to give her the confidence to be visible on LinkedIn, use the system, use the platform, and reposition herself from being an employee to actually a career confidence coach. And I think that's really amazing, isn't it? When you see the change in individuals like Maria, who have gone from actually and her story is all about being invisible to now being visible and having the confidence to get out there.
Yeah, it was also very difficult to decide what exactly we like. I help her to. I'm saying we because I help her to choose the stories, what she wanted to put there, because they're very personal stories. She went through a lot of mental and physical abuse in the back in the days, and not happy days, I have to say. But at the end, she shared 8 personal stories in 14 minutes talk, which was very heavy, I have to say, to deliver basically as a speaker, especially as a not experienced speaker, and also that personal side as of what all my relatives are gonna think about me when they watch my talk, which was really really big. But she's so happy with what she did on stage, and she's so happy that she made that TEDx talk, and it was her dream becoming.
So a couple more comments actually. Julia's like, Danita, you're amazing. This lady sounds amazing. There is hope for me. And Biljana, you too. But she's also, Julia's just said that she's just signed up to apply for TED and TEDx.
Thank you.
Oh, bless you.
You there?
Gail says some of the best speakers I have heard have no speaking experience and even believe they aren't good at it, and then they speak and they are so powerful. Yeah, it's very true, Gail. And that's the thing, because I think if you've got a story and a message of message to share, it's all about how you share it. And if you share it from your personal self, your personal brand, yes, structure is needed, and yes, there are tips needed on how to do it. This is outside of TEDx I'm talking about, but when you have a message to share, then you are doing an injustice by keeping it to yourself. So yeah, speaking is a skill, and I've been a public speaking coach for about 15 years now. Speaking is definitely a skill that you need to master. So Biljana, we're coming up to sort of 45 minutes. I knew this was going to happen with you. So when let's just go back to now, like LinkedIn, because obviously I titled this like LinkedIn saved me, and it was because you took this task on at the beginning of the pandemic. And the fact that you did already have like 11,000 followers, and you made a complete switch. It wasn't just that you switched from working with IT businesses to suddenly working with financial businesses. Like you switched your whole expertise. So what were some of the, if you were to give some key things that you did on LinkedIn, as a result of obviously learning more about it, but stuff that you committed to doing, what do you think, and that would help other people? What would they be?
Put your head around what kind of value you can give to your audience. Write it aside. Doesn't matter the topics, honestly, because LinkedIn is quite large now. Write them down aside and start testing, because everything is test. Even today, I test every day something different. Like today, I'm going to have my very first audio room.
Exciting.
Yeah, with my voice. but start posting it, and I know, again, be consistent with posting. Until you start posting for at least a month, you have no clue, and that goes for every platform. You have no clue if what is in your mind is interesting for someone or not. So don't let something stay in your mind. It needs to be out. So by testing, I mean like every Monday do some kind of a post, every Wednesday do another type of a post, every Thursday do another type of a post, Friday another type of a post, and post every day. So the engagement, and when people are more active, which days. And at some point drop 1 day or 2 days. I mean, it's you don't have to post every day. That's honestly physically impossible nowadays. So just go for it, and ask people as well for advice.
I think that's a key thing, isn't it? Like once you know your audience, if you have an audience, a lot of the time they've already told you the kind of things that they're interested in. They've already told you. So you've got to almost like, give them what they want, actually. Because that's what, or give them what they need, really, I should say. So give them what they need, so that eventually what they want is to work with you or to sign up for your whatever it is.
If I can sum it up, it will be, don't be afraid of being judged, and don't judge yourself.
Yeah. In fact, when, if you get disagreements, you're doing something right. If you get people disagreeing with you or having a different opinion, that's actually a good thing. It just means that you've stood for something. So yeah, absolutely. So just kind of as a sum up, like, and you may not have the answer to this, but like you said, 95% of your business pretty much comes from LinkedIn. So what would you advise? What would your advice be to people who are not using it or don't think it's right for them? Especially entrepreneurs, experts, trainers, speakers, people like that.
If you are planning to do any social media presence, which you should,
yes, definitely, it's a must.
Start doing it as soon as possible, because right now is October 2022. Okay, I want you to put that time in your mind. October 2022. LinkedIn start picking up massively for the past 12 months. They start changing a lot of stuff pretty much every month. And I would say for the next two years, LinkedIn will definitely thrive massively amongst all the social media in a very professional area. Okay, I'm not talking about TikTok. Although they are professionals now, so TikToks and sorry, Facebook died. Facts. Instagram is a little bit, Twitter is not, but that's different story, very different story. So if you don't jump right now on LinkedIn, what's going to happen is that someone else from your competitors is going to basically take that space instead of you. And they're going to position themselves as the expert. And it's going to take a really long time. The longer you procrastinate to jump on LinkedIn and start using LinkedIn, the longer after this is going to take you to position yourself with what you do. So like for me, it took me 8 months for people to forget my 19 years experience and know me as a TEDx coach, but that was because of all the strategies what Dee gave me. But like put it in your mind that at least for 8 months, very consistently, you have to be very present and show your true self, your very authentic self. Because the moment when you're like don't be present on LinkedIn just for the sake of posting, okay? Like just show raw stuff, like the raw life. People are so not anymore liking fakeness and like blah blah, basically like cut the fluff out and get to the point if you want to give value. Because the more like you want people to remember you as the person to go to for XYZ, right?
Yeah.
So do it straight away. Like tell them X, Y, and Z is this, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, listen, it has been an absolute delight. So how can people get in touch with you if they want to?
On LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn, yeah. Check out LinkedIn. Obviously, you can go to her profile straight from this live. And of course, you know, if you want to know more about how Biljana has actually worked with me based on, you know, her LinkedIn strategy, then obviously you know where I am on LinkedIn too. I mean, loads of people, I mean, Julia's like so excited about this. She's like, don't be afraid of being judged. She just said, definitely agree on the LinkedIn power. I've thrown myself into it seriously over the last 12 months. I've had the account for probably 10 years since it started, but this is the most serious I've taken it ever, which is amazing. Well done, Julia. And yeah, good luck with your time, obviously with that you spend with Biljana doing her mini course. So thanks again, Biljana. You have been a star as always. And you know, Biljana and I continue to work with each other. So it's really great to have Biljana in my LinkedIn tribe as well. So, right, we'll be bringing more of these over the course of the next few weeks, more interviews, etc. So just keep tuned in, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye.